Hello. Happy Pride Month, y'all. Hello, listeners, subscribers, followers, and for today, viewers. I don't normally do video podcasts, but I'll get into that later. Yes, so it is Pride Month. It is June the 6th. This is Brandon Elrich with Brandon Elrich is so gay. It um It is episode 21. Yes. So I haven't been to a Pride Fest yet or a parade or anything. My local community had a Pride Fest last weekend, so it's technically in May, which is fine. Who cares? But I didn't go. I'll get into that later. Before I go on, I'd like you to please subscribe. Become a paid subscriber to my Substack publication. I'm currently on the Rising in Humor leaderboard on Substack. So, in order to be on the leaderboard, you need paid subscribers, and of course, the more paid subscribers you have, the higher you will rank on the leaderboard. Or maybe it's the amount, the dollar amount. I don't know, whatever. It has something to do with paid subscribers. So, I would really appreciate if you would become a paid subscriber. It doesn't cost a lot. It's $4 a month, or you can just pay $40 for the entire year, which of course is the better deal. That's my Pride Month special. I'm doing that through the end of June. So that is a limited time offer. It'll be a little higher after June. So subscribe this month and you'll have a better deal than most people will. So yeah, it would be really nice to elevate some queer voices. And I definitely have a queer voice. So in this political climate, especially, a lot of our content, our voices are being squashed. So if you want to support someone who is part of the LGBTQ plus community, I would really appreciate your support. I'm a freelance writer, and so I make money on things like this. So you can go to Brandon Elrich is so gay on Substack. You could just Google Brandon Elrich is so gay, and it'll come up. One of my articles will come up, and so you can just click on there and go to my Substack. Go to the bottom of that, and there will be a subscribe button on there. I'll also post it here. There will be a button marked Pride Month Special, where you can get the $40 a year. Or there'll also be just a regular subscribe button, which would be $80 a year or $8 a month. Whatever you want to do is fine. If you want to be generous and do the 80, I'm all for that. Anyway, so I'm doing the video podcast because I thought I'd show you a few things I was thinking about wearing to Pride Fest this year. So I've got one on, a shirt on right now. In case you can't read that, in case you're not watching this, it says, "Kiss me, bro." I've worn it before, so I may not wear it again. I don't know. We'll see. So I also have, oh yeah, and wearing this, it didn't work. Well, okay. One guy kissed me on the cheek. Just to be nice. Whatever. So I've got these. But I may not wear those because I don't have anything that'll go, like a top that'll go with it. As you can imagine, it's kind of hard to find something that's so gold and shiny. So I may not wear them to Pride Fest. I may just hold on to them until Rocky Horror Picture Show and wear them there. I've also got black and white short shorts. I could wear those with this tank top. I have worn them before. I also have a mesh rainbow tank top with some pink short shorts. Very cute. And I've got a pair of mesh shorts and mesh top. Very revealing. And finally, this you can see that there's not much to it. It's basically just a bunch of white straps and kind of a little loincloth thingy to cover the important parts. Now, it'll depend on how I look that day, because I've really been trying to work on my body, doing push-ups and crunches and everything, and basically starving myself so I can wear some of the things that are a little more revealing. But I know it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter what I look like. Pride Fest is all about body positivity. And I'm just not that confident with my own. I see all kinds of different bodies at Pride Fest, and they're, topless women with just a little nipple, what are they called? Pasties? Nipple pasty things. And a lot of guys wear very revealing clothing. Most of them are the guys who have six-pack abs and they're muscular and everything. I'm not one of those guys, but I've also seen guys with a little extra weight that go shirtless or wear revealing things too. I wish I could be that brave and just go not care what anybody thinks, but I don't know. I think it's just the way I was raised, the judgmental household I was raised in. I think if they were my own family was judging me, then strangers probably would too. Which is still true of some people's. Some strangers will judge you no matter what. Anyway, where was I going with all that? I don't know. I'm gonna wear something. I'm not gonna just go nude. Anyway, going on. Let's see. I have some things written down. I don't go by a script, as you can probably tell, but I like to write down a few things just to keep myself on track. So, all right. A couple years ago, I wrote a piece called "Are You Afraid of Pride?" And basically, it was about the first time I went to my own community's Pride Fest. Well, okay, so my community was having a Pride Fest, and I decided to go. But when I drove there were protesters outside. See, there was some backlash from the conservative community saying, they were claiming to be standing up for our children, and they used the phrase drag shows are not kid friendly. So the Pride Fest that year was having what they called a family friendly drag show in the morning, and then they were going to have an 18 and over drag show that night. Of course, it was clearly labeled. They advertised it that way and everything. But part of the problem was that the conservative group, they changed the phrase it was advertised as family friendly, encouraging children and their parents to attend. But this conservative group claimed that the organizers of the event were targeting children, essentially indoctrinating the youth with a homosexual agenda. And you've probably heard that phrase before, the gay agenda or whatever. But, that people believe what they want to believe. Anyway, I drove to the Pride Fest. I got ready, drove there, and there were protesters out at the road. They were holding signs that said, standing up for your children and things like that. And I kept driving. I didn't want to deal with the protesters. Being in a small community, I thought some might even know me. And even though I'm out for the most part, I don't tell everybody. I don't go around, just advertising that I'm gay. I don't wear this kind of shirt out in public unless it's like at a pride event or an LGBTQ plus friendly type event. But I still have this fear of judgment. I don't want to be accosted. I don't want to. I don't want these people to come up and basically condemn me and tell me what an abomination I am and everything. So when I saw the protesters, I just kept driving by. I I allowed fear to dictate my actions, and I shouldn't have. I know there it is just so hard. If you haven't grown up gay in a conservative area, you probably don't know how difficult it can be being bullied, the rumors you have to deal with, having your family that believes that homosexuals will go to hell, all kinds of things. I mean, I don't need to get into all that. But it's difficult. And those are the kinds of things I I dealt with growing up, and now that I'm an adult, I just didn't want to have to revert back to that feeling uh, of childhood when I was growing up, all the depression and everything I had. And little things like that can trigger um, depression if you're not familiar with it. Little things can make your mind spiral and bring back those traumatic uh, events or feelings. So I avoided it. I did go to the Kansas City Pride Fest that year, and it was great. I I enjoyed it. I had gone the first time in 2019, and that was fun. But a couple years ago, I went again, and it was a little bigger this time. It had grown, which is great, and there were a lot more vendors, and the venue was bigger. It was a lot of fun. I felt very comfortable there, felt very open. I knew going to Kansas City, I knew I wouldn't see anybody I knew, so I wasn't worried about judgment as far as from family or friends or anything like that. And even from the other attendees, the people in the community, LGBTQ plus community, um, I I didn't feel any kind of judgment, which again goes back to the clothing. I should be able to wear whatever I want and realize nobody's going to judge me. The other thing though is I'm single and I kind of want to, maybe look somewhat attractive to another single man. So, and I know it's not all about looks, but that's the first thing you see when you meet somebody. It's eye to body, face to face. So, in a way, kind of like a writer has to hook their reader right at the beginning. when you're trying to attract a mate, sometimes you want to kind of draw them in with their eyes, with something visual. So that's why I'm so, I don't know if I don't want to say I'm obsessed with appearance, because clearly I'm not. But I do want to try to work on whatever I can to make myself look as good as I can. I I think I do have good hair, and I can somewhat work on my body, work out and stuff. I've never had huge muscles. I just don't really know what I'm doing in the gym, and I don't have friends that are gym rats. So there you go. So anyway, went to I went I did go to my local Pride Fest the year after that first time, and it was fine. It was very small. I live in a small community type area, a rural community, and there weren't a lot of vendors there. There was nobody there I knew. So I did feel sort of awkward being there by myself. And once you go look at all the vendors and spend a little money, there's not much else to do. So I'm just kind of standing around. I can be sort of introverted. I don't know if it comes off that way in videos and podcasts and things, because I don't have trouble talking to people. I don't have trouble socializing, but I would say I'm more introverted. So, especially going into a public place or a party, big group or something like that, I'm not just going to go up to random strangers and start a conversation. If we happen to be in line or something, and I might start up a conversation with somebody that way. But I think it's the big group thing that is more intimidating, I guess. Plus, if I'm there by myself, usually you don't see other single people there. Usually somebody's got a friend with them, or a significant other, partner, something like that. So it's kind of hard to go to events like that when you're single. But I go anyway. I'm going this year. I'm going to So if you haven't read or heard about it, if you haven't listened to my podcasts or read any of my articles lately, I'm doing this Midwest Pride tour. Hopefully it'll all work out right. I'm going to Kansas City tomorrow, Saturday, June the 7th. I'm going to broadcast live that afternoon. I'm planning on 3 p.m. Central, and I'm going to broadcast from Pride Fest, show you a little bit. I'm hoping to talk to some people there, see if they're okay with getting on a live video. I'm gonna go there a little bit early and talk to a few, and then bring them on when I go live. There will be some drag shows and concerts. I might be able to catch a little bit of that. It'll all depend. Some of it's gonna have to be a little spontaneous. So it's also gonna be a practice for me to kind of get out of my shell and actually talk to people I don't know, 'cause that's going to be a requirement if I'm going to do this the way I want to. Now, some places, now Kansas City, last couple of years that I went to Kansas City, there were no, I didn't see any protesters, which is great. Now, with the political climate as it is today, one thing Dana Dubois asked me in Gen Xy is, do I anticipate more protests, or what do I anticipate as far as that goes this year? And I'm really not sure. Being in a in a more rural area, the Bible Belt. Maybe there will be some this year where there weren't before, but hopefully not. I'm sure at least one of these Pride Fest events, there will be some protesters. And I'm kind of planning on trying to talk to one of them on my live video. Think that's a bad idea? Now, I'm going to use my judgment. I'm going to look and see if they're the aggressive type. I'll probably avoid those, maybe I'll try to talk to somebody who's a little more rational if there is such a person. Basically, I just want to kind of ask them why they're there, what they're protesting, why they even care what anybody else does. I don't know. We'll see. I may scrap that idea, but that's my plan. I know it'll be a little bit dangerous. That could be, at least. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to a different Pride Fest event every Saturday in June, starting with Kansas City. I don't know if I'm going to tell you all the different places because I kind of want to let it be a surprise. You know, like, do you remember that show? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I think it was on PBS or something. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? So instead, I will be, where in the world is Brandon? Where did he go? Hey, catchy, right? It probably won't catch on, but it's going to be in the Midwest, hence the name Midwest Pride Tour. But it may be in the same state, maybe outside of the state. There's going to be one in July, so it'll kind of extend through June. And there's also one in September, so I will probably go to that one too. So it'll be kind of, this tour will be kind of separated by a little time in between. That's all right. Yeah, anyway, let's see. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So some places may be a little less accepting of others. Like I said, there have been protests in other Pride Fests in some locations. I know in places like Utah and Idaho, they banned the use of or the display of pride flags in public. So you can see that some people just can't leave other people alone. Like, they don't want to see them. They don't want to see any representation of them, which is what the flags are about. It's a representation. It's a symbol. They want to eventually eliminate us, and it starts in small incremental steps. So first, they're taking away the symbol, the flag. Get rid of that. Then it'll be something else. They won't be allowed to live in certain neighborhoods. Whatever it'll be, I don't know. But before that happens, we need to put stops to this. If you agree with that, if you agree that we should put a stop to that kind of discrimination and deletion, then please support someone in the LGBTQ plus community, whether it's a business owner or writer, content creator, whoever it is. Try to give them your support. One good thing about Utah and Idaho is that Salt Lake City decided to adopt 3 new pride versions of its official flag. So they represent Juneteenth, the LGBTQI residents, LGBTQIA residents and transgender residents. So basically they made a version of their official flag, Salt Lake City, and it included the colors in those three groups, and it was a way to skirt around the law. And also in Idaho, Boise Mayor Lauren McLean issued a proclamation making the rainbow colored flag one of their official flags. And so that kind of went around, subverted that new discriminatory law. So that's great. If more things like that could happen, that would be awesome. Until the next president is in office, it's just hard to know what we're going to have to face. Being a gay man, I am one of the people that they are directly targeting. If you've never grown up gay or queer in some way, you may not realize the impact that bullying and discrimination has on someone. That's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to one of the protesters, because you may hear about it in the news, protests, picket lines, that kind of thing. But I think some people need to see it face to face. If you're an ally or if you're just a, a straight person who has no connection with the community, you may not ever see it in person. It's a whole different story when that level of vitriol is aimed directly at you, when they're telling you that you should go to hell. You may be able to brush it off, but not all of us can. It's hard to hear those words. So I kind of want to let people see it firsthand, hear it straight from the ass's mouth. Is that the phrase? Ass's mouth, the donkey, the horse, whatever it is. I think I got it right the first time. So that's not all I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to some positive people too, some happy people, some gay people. I hope you'll tune in to join me for every Saturday in June, and then the one in July and September too. But especially throughout June, that's the main bulk of what I'm doing. Let's see, what do I have? Looking at my notes. So pride flags. Yeah. I guess that's it. So again, please support me by going to my Substack and becoming a paid subscriber. Help me rise up on the humor leaderboard. Yeah, I hope to see you all there. I can't think of anything else. So I usually sign off by having my cat Zach say goodbye, but I let him outside. He's out. He and Zoe are both outside right now. So I guess I'm just going to have to say it for him. Bye, everybody. And say goodbye, Zach.